Well, hello again, friendly people. It is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And this is my first flight of the year out of Bend. I've had a few flights in the club glider, but this is the first day I've been flying my glider out of Bend. And as you can see, it is a sparkler of a day. Little fluffy clouds as far as the eye can see, and it is pretty nice. I don't know what I'm going to do today. It took me quite a while to get my ship put together, and I checked my oxygen bottle, and it was pretty close to empty, so I had to fill that, and it took a lot longer to get out to the airport and to get everything put together than it usually does when I've been flying a lot. But we're up now. I think we'll poke down to the south over the plains there and take a look at those, and we'll just see how the day goes. Probably only going to fly for a couple of hours today, but it is a really pretty day, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I will update you as the flight goes on. Well, down here by the Plinus, we stopped and found a climb. I almost up to cloud base. Not quite. I'm at about 11,000 feet now. It's like cloud base might be 12 or 12.5. Anyway, off here to the left, you can see the Paulina Lakes, the East Lake and West Lake, and they're looking fabulous. And I don't know quite what I'm going to do. I don't really feel like shooting off to the south, so I think maybe we'll head over. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'll try and go down and get on the convergence over the Cascades and see if we can't run south along the Cascades a little bit. A little bit of rain off to the west there. Rain up by Mount Bachelor, so maybe I won't go over the Cascades. I'll just head down south here a bit. Anyway, I'll leave the camera run for a bit. We'll just put the nose over and run over to that next cloud. There's some good lift right here, but I'm already up, and so we'll get our speed up. Here we go. We're doing about 100 knots, 120 miles an hour ish, and it's nice. It's cooled off quite a bit as we climbed up. It's not too chilly, but it's definitely cool rather than warm when we're on the ground. So if I keep heading this way, there's a Forest Service strip. It's just at the edge of my glide range right now. So if I head this way a little bit and get a climb, I should be able to make it comfortably, and then we can keep heading down towards Christmas Valley and Paisley. sitting. Let's see if we pick up a climb under this cloud that's pretty much straight ahead. There should be one off to our right here as well, but trying not to stop at every thermal. Actually get a little distance under us. Do need to find a climb here, because right now we're just barely in glide of pave 5, our land out ahead of us, and really the only thing we've got behind us right now is a field along the highway at La Pine. We're too far to get back to Sun River, so. But it looks good, so not too worried. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you can hear it or see it, but we're just catching a few little drops of rain. I would like to get out of the rain, but that's better. 10 knots. That's a 1,000-foot gain right there in just over a minute, and we'll probably go right up to cloud base here. There's 2,000-foot gain, comfortably in range of going back to Bend now, and comfortably in range to keep heading south. Okay, one more circle. I don't want to actually, no, that's enough. I don't want to get too close to that cloud. There we go. We're gonna speed up right here, and I think we're gonna head down for the Paisley Ridge right there. So there's an airport out in front of us, basically straight ahead right now, called Table Rock. Private field, nice guy that has the field. He's amenable to having a glider show up if we ever have to put down there. And it's a dirt field, but it's wide and pretty well maintained. So that's my next option. Out ahead, I'm also well in range of Christmas Valley, and then off to the right here, there's a couple of grass strips, the Silver Valley Forest Service strip, and then there's a strip at a restaurant that's kind of out in the middle of the outback here, and both of those are well in range right now. So, all right, back to cruising. I think I'll sit it right there. That's about 94, 95 knots. Get it trimmed. All right, well, I think I'll stop recording there, and we'll pick it up when we see how far south we get. Well, we are south, almost down to the Summer Lake Ridge, which is maybe not visible off our left nose. And there's a couple of nice looking clouds up here. Our landable is still Table Rock, which is about 10 miles behind us at this point, so we need to be a little careful here. You can see the dust getting picked up off of the dry lake out in front of us. So pretty sure there's some good lift out here, but whenever there's good lift, there's good sink, so just have to move carefully. But I thought I would turn the camera on and see if we can't find a thermal out here. That's disturbing. That cloud got us nothing. Table Rock is oh, what is it? It's 12 miles away. We've got plenty to get there. Silver Lake and Mahogany are out in front of us here. I'm going to try this. Cloud straight ahead. Hopefully we find something. About 5 knots of sink on the back side of that cloud, so I'm hoping we'll speed up and fly through it, but it would be really nice to find some lift right now. That's quite a relief. You can see the, well, you probably can't. I can see the grass strip over there that is the one beside the restaurant. The strip is called Mahogany, and it's basically right underneath us. It's out there off our right nose. It's kind of a little grass strip along the road there. And maybe if I would do a better job thermaling and stop talking to the camera. Alright, well, I'll try and stay in this thermal instead of talking my way out of it. We're climbing at about 6 knots, but when you get down to really needing a thermal, it doesn't matter how strong it is. If it's going up, it's good. This one is definitely getting stronger as we go higher, which is not unexpected. Wind speed is something like 15 to 20 miles an hour from the north, which is where we have to go home. So it's been a quick trip south, but I think we're going to start working our way back north, just so that we don't screw it up and not make it. We're up to 9 knots on the averager, which is nice. We've climbed 3,300 feet since we found this thermal. I don't know if you can hear the intermittent sort of roaring noise and then a thump. That's my engine bay doors, which are held down by a fairly loose bungee cord, getting sucked open when I don't keep the glider exactly centered or aligned with the airflow. So, you know, you can tell that I'm not flying a really efficient turn when you start hearing those things popping open. Sometimes you can't help it when the thermal's gusty. All right, we're up to 12,000 feet. Not quite enough to make it home to Bend. Close. We'll scoot back along underneath these clouds. Hopefully pick up some lift under the clouds and make our trip home fun. All right, the lift is dropped off to about 5 knots. We're almost at cloud base, so I'm going to head for the barn. Let's see, where is home? There's Mount Bachelor out in front of us. And I'm going to run along these clouds rather than trying to go direct to home. sort of piece together a course out of a bunch of segments that go underneath these clouds. Bend is basically 45 degrees to the right of our nose right now, a little more. And oh, what is it? It's like, it's 75 miles away, so should be fine. It's not quite in glide range yet. But we only need to pick up another couple of thousand feet on the way home, which we may be able to do without actually stopping, which would be cool. So that's not gonna fly super fast. It's gonna fly at like 80. I'm gonna set my MacCready here to something a little less aggressive. Let's say 3 knots. Right, let's go over to this next cloud. Hopefully it will suck us up a little bit. That's a lot closer to the way home. Lots of rain over the Cascades over there off to our left, but hopefully these clouds in front of us don't start dropping. Anyway, should be a fine, but all right, it is 15:03, or what is it, 10 to 4 in the afternoon. We're 75 miles from Bend. We're at 11,900 feet and having a good old time. Excuse me. Not a shabby flight for not even getting launched till after 2 o'clock. Boy, it is thirsty work flying gliders. I am making good use of my Camelback. Just slow down in the lift here. Let it pull us up. We're going up at about 10 knots right now, so not really a need to stop. So we'll just slow it down and fly along under the cloud until it stops sucking us into the air. Try and stay a little bit to the sunny, so the sun is moving into the west as the day goes on, so I'm going to try and stick to the west side of the clouds a little bit. The theory being that's where the thermal will be coming up. It's a good theory, but it doesn't work all the time. Alright, the lift has decidedly gone away. We're in 4 or 5 knots of sync. We're speeding up to get out of it. way off, basically off our wing right now is about 25 or 30 miles away is Christmas Valley. And there's not a lot out in front of us. Right now we're over the Silver Lake Forest Service strip. And the next thing we have to do is get to where we can call something out in front of us in range. Right now there's nothing out in front of us that is landable, really. So the next thing that's out there is that field beside the road in Lapine. It's not really an airport, but probably would be fine if we had to set down there. And then after that, we've got Sun River, and then we're back to Bend. Right now, we're still, if we fly at our McCready speed, which we're not, we're flying slower, we need to gain about 5,000 feet before we could safely get home to Bend. But if we slow down and fly at our best glide, we're still not in range, but it's a lot closer. It's like 1,200 feet. So we should be fine. We'll find some lift here and circle a couple of times. Well, I thought I found some lift under here. Now I'm in sync. Damn it. I just turned the wrong way. There's 8 knots on the averager, and that's pretty cool. There we go. We're at 12,200 feet-ish. And I don't really want to go up to cloud base. I want to be able to see. So we'll just head towards home. along at 100 miles an hour, well, 100 knots, and 12,000 feet climbing at 7 knots. It is freezing cold outside. My instruments just told me that our outside temperature is below freezing at this altitude. Cool. It is cool. It's not really very warm. I'm gonna close my vent a little bit. So, Bend, which is where we're going, is kind of off to the right where that clear space. Clear space between the clouds. And so I'm gonna head this way, which is kind of towards Mount Bachelor, in order to stay underneath these nice clouds, because I don't quite have enough altitude to make it to Bend without climbing again, and I'm worried that if I tried to go home direct, I would not get another climb. That was my landing gear popping down. Dang it. Bumpy. Keep hitting lift on the way home. We're about 15 miles south of Bend. I'm going to make my initial call and let them know I'm on my way. And I'll leave the camera running for the landing. We'll see how that goes. The winds are basically right down the runway between 12 and 19 knots. So I'll make my approach and pattern about 10 knots faster than I would in calm air. I wish that engine door would close. Anyway, because we hit so much lift, I've been flying faster and faster, and we've just been gaining ground and not flying fast enough. to use all this lift at the beginning. But I don't really want to fly really fast, and it's pretty bumpy out here. So, Ben traffic glider 27 Sierra Zulu is about 13 miles to the south. I'm inbound. I'll be joining 45 for left downwind 3-4 bend. bend traffic. Glider 27 Sierra Zulu is over Highway 20 northbound at 5,300. Have the crosswind Cessna in sight. We'll be joining left downwind behind the Cessna for landing 3-4 bend. I'll be fine. Thank you for the offer. Landing gear is down. Flaps 6 for approach. Bend traffic. Glider 27 Sierra Zulu is on a 45 for left downwind, 3-4 bend. Have the departing traffic in sight. Bend traffic. Glider 27 Sierra Zulu is established left downwind, 3-4 bend. Final traffic in sight, and I'll be a couple of minutes on the runway, potentially getting off.
Traffic 172 Sierra Zulu on the upwind outlet 34, we'll be departing to the northwest and left call.
Alright, we're pretty high. Had to make room for that landing Cessna, and so we're just gonna come in right here. I'm at 67, that's good. Bend traffic. Glider 27 Sierra Zulu, base to final, 3-4 bend. I'll be a couple of minutes on the runway getting off. Alright, runway is mid. Gonna go to Lynn. grab it over here. All right, bringing in the landing flaps and slowing it down. All right, here we go. .58, centered on the runway, hold it off, hold it off, hold it off, hold it off. There we go. All right, gonna put the right wing down first. And then we need to very carefully run off of the runway. Alright, green light extension, ignition on, prop stop off, clear prop. Sierra Zulu, clear of 3 forward Alpha 2, be taxiing to the glider tie down via Alpha. All right, well, it's a little bit of a bounce, but not too shabby. And there we go. Not a bad way to open the season in Bend. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.